Morning. Morning. I'm expecting a delivery, so if I get a knock on the door, I'm going to have to run and take it because my iron pills are coming today and I need to take them, right? Because unlike Shantel, I actually follow doctor's instructions. So anyway, I wanted to try and like mentally go through the list of things Chantel has told us have ailed her in just the last like month and a half, right? The the bedbound arc. I'm trying to remember on the sciatica whether that started before the Ramadan Canada trip or after it. I can't remember. So, she had the bedbound arc where she did a live stream and somebody in her chat asked her, "Aren't you afraid of becoming bedbound?" And she said, "That's not going to happen." And then, like, literally within a few hours, she's like, "I can't move." And she looks like the fucking Cheshire cat from Alice in Wonderland. Like lying on the couch, doing her thing, right? And then she started doing live streams with an avatar. You guys remember that? She's like, I can't be on screen right now because I can't leave my bed, right? Because she had sciatica, is what she said she had. I think the, I think that actually did happen after her Canada trip that happened over the holidays. But it was like a few weeks later that she's like, I don't know. I think it was the plane ride that did this to me. But it was like a few weeks later after she had already done some content walking around parks and kicking a soccer ball. You guys remember that? She kicked a goal, kicked a soccer ball. Okay, so there was the bedbound arc and the weird avatar that looks like Kai Bella that she was using for a while and saying, I just can't leave bed right now. I can't leave bed. So there was that, right? But obviously before that, there was type 2 diabetes that is uncontrolled. And she has apparently run out of the strips to even check her blood sugar at this point. And I don't know this whole connection with Salah having an apparently, allegedly having a sister that's a pharmacist. So you'd think getting the strips wouldn't be that difficult, right? Okay, so type 2 diabetes, sciatica. Then she goes to Canada for the Ramadan period, the end of Ramadan. Completely blows her Ramadan goals, does a ton of mukbangs, is very clearly intoxicated or somehow impaired on several of her live streams. Goes dark for like 3 days and then puts up a weird um, video that just has voiceover and says she's going back to Kuwait after she had already been raising money through her chat to um, get an apartment in Canada, right? For to focus on her health, right? But no, 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 she needed to go back home. So this is like 3 days later after doing a live stream where she, quite frankly, looked high as fuck, right? And then she got so much backlash over the fact that she had been raising money for an apartment in Canada. Hey, Danny. I know. What you been up to, girlfriend? All right, so let me list them off. So we got type 2 diabetes, uncontrolled. She's not even checking her blood sugars on anymore, and has run out of the strips. We have sciatica that appeared like 2 weeks after she got back from the the holiday Canadian trip when she went back for Christmas, right? Even though she doesn't celebrate Christmas, she'll take the gifts. She'll take the gifts, you guys. Diabetes, sciatica. Then she goes back to Canada, embarrasses herself again, gets a lot of backlash on her channel, and goes dark again. And this is right around the time that there was the solar eclipse. So her timeline on the stuff that she posted after this doesn't make sense at all, right? She posted that she was hospitalized, basically, or in the ER. I don't know that they admitted her to the hospital, but she was in the ER and needed, what was it, 5 or 6 bags of saline, right? 5 or 6 bags of saline. So, then the internet's trying to like figure that out. Oh, you're visiting family. I thank you for asking, Danny. I've my legs are getting a little bit better this week, but like the last week has been pretty rough. Like I took a few tumbles, and I was in a lot of pain. So I was very gingerly walking around the house trying to make sure I didn't fall. Okay, so then the that's what I'm updating you on right now. So then she goes to Canada, right? She embarrasses herself by doing some live streams where she looks like she's either intoxicated or high or something, right? Thank you, Danny. Um, and she has to, you know, she never returned the donations, by the way. The donations people gave her for the apartment in Canada, never returned them. But she instead tried to distract her audience with, I'm in the hospital. Had like 5 or 6 bags of saline. That's what it's called, right? Saline fluid. And I have norovirus. I think I do. I think I have norovirus because apparently every time she has something, it's I think I have this rather than the doctor has diagnosed me with this, right? Very next day after posting that she's in the hospital with norovirus because she really likes to fuck around with the timeline so that we don't know what day things actually happened. Plus, her story doesn't add up. She said she was feeling sick for a couple of days and throwing up, and it was coming out of all ends, exploding out of all ends. But she also posted a video of going into the US on the day of the solar eclipse. And this hospital video, I think, was posted like the day after or like 2 days later. So the timeline does not add up that you could be sick for that much time, but also take a day trip to the US if you're, you got stuff popping out of all orifices, right? Does not make sense. Um, then she shows us her haul of feminine hygiene products, right? Yeah. And when she gets back to Kuwait, oh my God, it's all falling apart. Like, she has a skin infection, which looks like it was probably a boil that popped, and she was using like a sanitary napkin as a bandage because one of her live streams, she leaned over this way and it popped out of her pants. Not very discreet about that. So she has that. Then she also has a UTI and a kidney infection. She also says, backtracks and says that she also had the flu in Canada. There have been lots of moments. Okay, so after seeing her swimming, that was enough for me to throw up. It's sad, right, Danny? Um, there have been a lot of moments that have made me want to throw up. Oh, it looks like Chantel's here, Danny. Well, honey girl, you can talk about it on your own channel, but you're not staying in my chat. I heard that her troll activity had ticked up today. I heard she was trolling a little bit more. Karen Blair is the account. She's been apparently coming on various channels and defending herself and um, uh, insulting the reactors, right? Okay, so she apparently then backtracks and says that she also had the flu in Canada. So what are we talking about now? We got type 2 diabetes, sciatica, norovirus, the flu, some sort of skin condition that ended up in like a boil getting popped, and she was using like maxi pads as bandages. Of course she is. Like, who the fuck goes to other people's channels and does that, Daddy? Like, literally, this is all she has to do all day is just, like, fucking troll people's channels. It's kind of hilarious. Like, I've never gone to her channel and said, Shantel, can you lose some goddamn weight? I've never given her crap. I'm just a react channel, you know? Yeah, I did. I blocked her. So, so that was like five things. That's five things. Um, and she was taking antibiotics, I think, for norovirus and for the skin condition, right? So now she claims she has MERS. She still hasn't been to a doctor yet. So this is all like undiagnosed, you guys. Completely undiagnosed. She says she has MERS and she started feeling sick on Saturday. Um, she basically, I think she was dark on Friday as well, but she's been dark up until yesterday. And then she had this very dramatic podcast, which I covered yesterday, where she's whining about how sick she is, but still won't go to the hospital, still won't see a doctor. I'm too tired. I'm too tired to go see the doctor. What are you talking about, girlfriend? You said you threw up once. Once. She apparently has a fever that breaks every night. Because she's like, I'm sweating through my sheets every night. Yeah, she did, sweet and low. There was a sock account in here. I've already deleted it, but she doesn't want to get help because let's talk about that for a second. First of all, she has in the past said that paying out of pocket provides better healthcare in Kuwait. Hi, Violet. And she said paying out of pocket, like not using a healthcare plan, provides better healthcare in Kuwait. So that's supposedly that appointment that she did in December to get the medicine that she's on for her diabetes. Okay. I don't know how she's getting antibiotics at this point, unless um, Salah's sister is helping her out, allegedly. Because if she's not going to doctors and she's not going to urgent care and she's not going to the hospital, how is she getting prescriptions for antibiotics? Right? How is that possible? So she apparently has the antibiotics for the kidney infection. She has antibiotics for the skin infection. She had antibiotics for the norovirus. Um, I don't know why her man is with her. It's weird, the relation. Well, I don't think they're actually together. I think it's a business relationship, but that's just my opinion. I don't think that's a romantic relationship at all. I mean, have you seen any of their pool videos? They look so he really looks like he can't stand her coming up and hugging up on him. Like it makes him uncomfortable. And he spends his entire time on all of these videos just eye fucking himself, right? Okay, so we're talking like three different prescriptions for antibiotics within 1 month. I got like, I molt a lot. My hair molts a lot. Um, Two of them I think were actually obtained in Kuwait. So, and if she's not actually seeing any doctors, she's not going to the urgent care, she's not going to the hospital, how is she getting the antibiotics? And how resistant is she making her body to these antibiotics at this point? Because you can't just like constantly take tons and tons of antibiotics without building up a resistance and they don't work for you anymore, right? And they probably gave her Cipro for the kidney infection. That's like the strongest one. So now she's saying she has MERS because she's self-diagnosing again. The way when she got in the pool and he was just distancing her. Well, okay, let's talk about the fact that she was drowning and he's like, "Are you okay, babe?" Um, I have never seen a parent, a spouse, a loved one watch somebody drowning in a pool and not immediately jump in the pool, right? So what the hell is going through his mind that he's just like, "Are you okay, babe?" And she actually said on her live stream that it went on for longer than that and she edited part of it out. Sounds like she was faking, exaggerating her sickness in her video. Sounded performative. Absolutely. She's like, "I'm alive. Barely." Barely. I threw up once and my fever broke. Apparently, like every night this week because I was sweating through my sheets. Like, generally your fever breaks and then you start to recover, right? Like that's her and Eugenia should be friends. Yeah, they could maybe Shantel could actually convince Eugenia to eat a little bit of food, and Eugenia could convince Shantel to eat less. Yeah. I'm laughing my ass off. How do you say that to your partner when they need serious help? That is a total beta male right there. That he didn't put the camera down immediately because I mean it's not even like a live stream at this point. This is pre-taped content. So why didn't he just put the camera down? They could edit all this bullshit out later, but he could have jumped in the pool and helped her with the fact that she got tangled up in her stupid ass outfit because she's unwilling to buy a bikini. I don't know if it really works that way, Danny, but one can hope, right? I have a tickle in the back of my throat. But I'm not sick, you guys. I'm just a smoker. I'm not going to try and like tell you something's wrong with me that's not wrong with me, right? I already have enough problems, health problems, without having to try and add new ones. So anyway, the amount of antibiotics that she is supposedly on seems somewhat impossible unless she's planning on becoming resistant to antibiotics, period. Your birthday's coming up. Um, I don't remember what she was wearing. That's not the white dress where she went over the grate, right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Danny. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, she's definitely lying. I don't like. I'm sure she does have ailments and pains and various things going wrong with her, but um, she was putting on like a fake Darth Vader voice on that video, you know? And that was her only sign of actually being sick with something like MERS. No raspiness in her throat, no congestion. It's supposed to be a variation of COVID, which means that she would need to get in and have her oxygen level tested. I have a friend who, right before we all started getting vaccinated in 2021, he caught COVID. And he's 32, um, a little bit overweight, but he was young and healthy. He was a activist. He was like the kind of guy that was like out in the streets, knocking doors and stuff like that. And he waited too long. He's like, did the whole I'm gonna just lie in bed and drink a lot of water and surely I'll get over this, right? By the time he got to the hospital, his oxygen level in his blood had dropped to death rate. They had to put him on a ventilator within like 24 hours or something. And all of his organs started shutting down. His The air that they were pumping into his lungs was escaping his lungs and getting trapped under his skin. So they had to make the life or death decision of whether or not to pull him off of it. Um, so unfortunately, he was deceased just a couple weeks before we all started getting the jab, the first one. Very sad, because he really wanted to change the world. You're welcome, Danny. So anyway, if she really has MERS, which I highly doubt, but if she thinks she does, then she better get to the fucking hospital and have her oxygen level checked. Because she would go like that. 500-pound death fat. Dude, she would be on a ventilator so fast. You can't just sit on shit like that. You know what I mean? And she's also saying that she didn't contact anybody. But like I said, like the list of ailments that she has come up with just in like the last month and a half is astounding. Like, how do you get sick with that many things? How did that many things go wrong with you? That's impossible. Especially when you're like out and about showing us that you are capable of walking, that you are capable of stairs. It's just, a little tiresome for you. Um, that in general, you are mobile, right? And you're not having, there's nothing that sounds off. I mean, this is so weird too because like FFG has been raspy for like a week and a half. So I wonder how much of this is trying to steal her story too. Like she's constantly stealing everybody's stories. But it is pretty hilarious that she keeps jumping in everybody's chats like that to with the like most elementary school fucking insult. Sounds like you. Oh, really? Okay. Yes, I've come up with this many ailments about myself. All right, Shantel. That's hilarious. Like the shit that she comes up with. The last time she was in my chat, she called me a homeless person. She doesn't like the fact that I actually own a condo and she's fucking renting some tiny little apartment that doesn't even have a real kitchen. It's a service porch. Right, Chantel? That's why you got a drain in the middle of the room. It's fucking service porch. She's been jumping in Rosethorn Reacts chats as well. And I think she has also been in Yaba's chats. I don't know how many other people she's jumped into, but I feel like I'm pretty small to be bothered with, but that's interesting that she's taking notice of me. When I pointed out that she was out of tune, she's so out of touch, it's insane. When I that, pointed out that she was out of tune in her cameo ad, she pulled it like the next day. It was gone. It's gone. She pulled it so fast. Like that girl cannot sing. Ah, ah. I can't. She's hilariously bad at singing. Mm-mm. What are you gonna do for your birthday other than the Marilyn Monroe dress? You got any big plans? I mean, don't tell me, don't dox yourself. Don't like tell me where you're going or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to dox yourself on my live stream, but she might still be watching, but like she can't chat if that's the one account she's using in this moment. I don't care if she watches my shit, but the reality is that there is a line between reactor and subject, right? And it is, you can't have the subject in your chats like trying to defend themselves or insult the reactor or anything like that because that it moves the conversation to a completely different area. It changes the entire vibe of the conversation, and she can address it on her own goddamn channel because I know she likes to rage. Go to a fancy restaurant with your friends. That's cool. That's a nice idea. You're gonna make the dress. Really? You got skills, huh? You got some skills there. I can't sew shit. Although I've made some attempts. I've made some attempts. I had to crochet a unitard when I was in the seventh grade. It was literally a requirement for one of the dances that I was in. Took me months. I still have it somewhere. I think it's in the garage. We were doing Dreamweaver. That's a song that Shantel fucking hates, right? She hates that song. We were spiders. We're all spiders in this dance, and we were dancing to Dreamweaver. You've always been a creative kid? That's cool. Sewing, I always wanted my grandma to teach me how to sew because she sewed, right? But I guess the older she got, the less interested she was into doing it. So, I would have to do some serious digging in the garage for that, to find that because everything's kind of buried behind some stuff I need to get rid of. Clara Bigsby. Good morning, Jenna. Yes, cigarettes of. It's cigarette of judgment, actually. I wonder if Miriam likes Jeffree Star. I'm fairly certain that she has said that she does, and that she has. Yes, exactly, Clara. Uh, she does like Jeffree Star, and she has purchased his makeup before, right? Amber Lynn does too, by the way. Oh, so does that mean if the glasses are on now, does that mean you can see better, Clara? My mom was a designer. She was amazing at it. Kind of got it from her. Yeah, my mom didn't pick it up from my grandma because I think it would have been more likely passed down to me if my mom had learned, right? But then again, I don't know. My mom was a professional soprano and never even taught me how to sing. And I asked her several times, "Can you do some voice lessons with me?" And she's like, "Nah, I don't really want to." My mom and dad were both like so into themselves. They were like professional musicians, and they're like, "Nah, we don't want to pass that particular trait down. Not interested." How long have we been going? It's almost 40 minutes. Let's see if my delivery truck has come by yet. Not yet. Anybody watch the Survivor finale last night? Clara, yes, I'm 46 now, and glasses are everything, damn it. You're a technical designer in the fashion industry. Oh, see, you and Danny can talk. But you don't recommend taking that job. I get you. I get you. Um, I don't know if I really want to talk about the Survivor finale yet because I remember in the past when I would start like talking about like the um episodes that I was watching when it was more popular, like back in the early aughts. I had friends on my Facebook list who were like, "Don't spoil me. because it hadn't aired yet in certain countries. Oh, the one that Kim Kardashian wore at the Met Gala. I'll have to look it up because I actually wasn't watching the Met Gala thing. I've seen some pictures about it, but I don't know who was wearing what. And honestly, like I am so detached from like uh, that type of celebrity that I'm not even sure I would recognize her as like, that bad. Like I don't pay attention to like celebrity shit at all. Especially in Orange County where connections and money are more important than tangible talent. Yeah, Clara, back in like 2005, I took this course to get into like event planning, event management type stuff. Um, and they said everything is based on connections. Like, even back then, right? And so the only way that I could get into the industry was to take a minimum wage job and work my way up. And I'm like, I'm too old for this bullshit. And I have I'm a single mom trying to raise a kid. I can't fucking do that. So I went back into like customer service. Clara, what are your thoughts about the Marilyn Monroe dress that Kim Kardashian wore? I'm trying to make it myself. The Kardashians can be too much. Other celebrities too. I get what you mean. Mhm. Yeah, Danny, were you the one asking me about James Charles? Apparently there's a lot of shit being stirred up about him right now. Speaking from experience, I'm from LA, but got my career chops up in San Francisco. Okay, well, I mean, they're sister cities, really. And Portland. Portland's fun. Had to leave SoCal to get real education. Yeah, sometimes that's the truth. Like, there are better places that where you can learn your industry experience depending on where you go. Um, and San Francisco and Portland are both very sort of fashion forward. That dress is one of my favorites of all time, Danny. It was cut by a woman by the name of Elizabeth Courtney, who later worked for Bob Mackie. Hmm, interesting. I'm gonna have to, if this guy doesn't pass by, not pass away, but pass by. There's a dude who like does his walk with his speaker so loud he's like blasting music. Okay, ladies, I'm not gonna read the whole conversation. I'm not gonna read the whole conversation. But that's cool. I love that you're making your dress and that you're very excited about it and that you're going to have this cool party with your friends. Sounds like a good time. But I got to wrap up, you guys. I got to wrap up because I do need to make sure I can hear the door when my iron pills get here. And I also have some other chores I have to get done today. So I want to thank you all for joining me this morning. If you missed the beginning, you missed the early tea, you can wait until it just is available on the replay and just play it back. It'll be fine. You'll be fine. Everybody be fine. Except for maybe Shantel, who's really freaking out and trolling channels right now. She can't be that sick, right? She certainly cannot be that sick if she has the time and energy to constantly create stock accounts. You know what I mean? She can't be that fucking sick. All right. Y'all have a great Thursday, and I will talk at you later. I love that you jump in the chat, Danny and Clara, and the other people that were in here earlier too. She's the Ursula origin story. This poor unfortunate fool. All right, I'll chat at you all later. Take care.